Medic 21, and 820, Priority 1, MVC with entrapment.
Engine 2 and Engine 3 from Battalion 1, you may have extrication possibly. Do you receive?
So in the case of life-threatening hemorrhage, whether that be from a traumatic accident, an obstetrical emergency, or even a GI bleed, sometimes blood will be the only thing that will help the patient and possibly save their life. It's important that blood's available in an expedited manner and that we have it efficiently, a mechanism to efficiently deliver that blood. When we're talking about serving a large area like we have here with over 900 square miles, it's important that we have the blood available, and so that's why we have this Tahoe concept with 3 Tahoes carrying blood throughout the county.
Well, it's taken a lot of leadership and a lot of work to get this going. I think a lot of our flight services already had blood. I think the challenge is that a lot of the blood banks have not really had great relationships or long-term relationships with the ground-based EMS. And you know, when we have bad weather and the helicopters can't fly, I think it's really important that our ground units have the same capabilities as our flight entities. But it's developing trust and relationships with blood banks. I think it's been a new program up here. There's a program down south towards San Antonio where they've been doing quite a while with their regional RAC. So good thing that our regional RAC has gotten involved as well, trying to build these programs. But thanks to our leadership for really providing the resources and the leadership on this project.
So the patients that we're administering blood to, any trauma patient with life-threatening blood loss, OB emergencies, pregnancy patients that also have life-threatening blood loss, and then medical patients such as like GI bleeds on blood thinners, typically can easily lose a life-threatening amount of blood internally. So the equipment that we use to carry blood here at PCHD, we have a cooler in each Tahoe, an APRU cooler that keeps the blood between 1 and 6 degrees Celsius. We also have a QuinFlow blood warmer that keeps the blood warm when we're giving it to a patient. So cool while we're storing it, but then when we're administering it, it actually warms the blood up to just above body temp or normal body temp for our patients. So we have several different alarm systems set up to let us know if the cooler has gone outside or is getting near going outside the desired range. So one would be the cooler itself. It has an audible alarm. If we're in the Tahoe or near the Tahoe, we would hear the audible alarm telling us, hey, it's getting close to 1 degree or it's getting close to 6 degrees. You need to do something about it. We also have a wireless temp stick monitor that tells us via a website and alerting system on our phones if the temperature is getting to that close to that 1 or 6 degrees. So it notifies all on-duty supervisors if that happens, and then we're able to rectify the problem. So the way we document blood and carrying blood, so we have online forms that we every 24 hours fill in with what the temperature of the blood is, what the temperature of the blood is online with another type of monitoring, and which unit is where. So we have to make sure that we know exactly, we have to be accountable for where the units of blood are. That way, if we do end up having some kind of a reaction to the blood, adverse reaction, we're immediately able to know this is the unit of blood it came from, and the doctors at the hospital are able to deal with the problem appropriately. So the other way that we document blood is after we've administered it. When we write the PCR, we attach a blood form that has the blood unit number, the blood type, when the blood was administered, when the blood was stopped, whether there was an adverse reaction, and was the transfusion complete when we arrived at the hospital. So we hand all of this paperwork off to the receiving hospital as well as the empty bag of blood or the ongoing unit of blood so that they're able to continue to monitor for adverse reactions and to know exactly what was given to the patient. The daily checks that we do, we have an online form that we fill out. We document what temperature the cooler is. We also document that the temp stick that we have inside the cooler is within 1 degree of the cooler itself. So make sure that they're agreeing with each other and that there's no kind of discrepancy there. We also make sure that the blood itself has no abnormalities, any kind of discoloration or anything like that, and that the blood is actually in date.
Well, I think the hardest thing has been really that trust with the blood banks. I think that obviously post-COVID, they were very worried about blood being wasted, not having enough blood. And what we're trying to explain is that if we give blood on scene and help save a life, that's blood that's not going to have to be used at the hospital. So I really think developing that relationship and really having them trust the fact that we're taking care of the blood, we're good stewards, and that developing an exchange process so we're not wasting blood. I think those are the biggest things that we have worked on and continue to work on with our leadership.
The other major challenge with getting blood into EMS is the reimbursement issue. Medicare nor any other payers reimburse EMS agencies for blood, so all of the cost of the equipment, which is expensive, and the cost of the blood is totally borne by the EMS agency.
So I would say the two biggest challenges that we have, one, keeping the blood cool even when we're out in this, Texas summer in the hot environments, and the other would be making sure that we have blood available to patients anywhere in the county. So we do the temperature monitoring and management by having a battery backup with these APRU coolers. So even when they're not plugged in the Tahoes, even when we're taking them in on a call, when we're in an ambulance, when we're at the hospital dropping off, they always stay within 1 to 6 degrees Celsius. So that has really made the temperature monitoring and management easier. The other aspect is we have Tahoes with coolers spread out across the county. So they're always close to the patients that need them.
So it would be great if we had access to more blood, because if we could, as we expand services here, and we undoubtedly have more Tahoes in place throughout the county, having the blood even closer to patients that need it in a dire situation is something that we're going to have a challenge and look forward to meeting.
And I think that our agency has really been good stewards with the blood bank that we started with. We started with component blood first, now we've moved to whole blood, but we actually started a donation process with the folks that live and work here, other people throughout the county, first responders, to donate to the blood bank to provide more blood for them. So hopefully it's a win-win situation where the blood bank gets more blood to serve more individuals and save more lives, and we can also use that blood as well.
So we carry a unit on each supervisor vehicle, and as soon as we use a unit of blood, either the supervisor who used it or one of the other on-duty supervisors is able to order blood immediately and get that blood to us as quickly as possible. If the blood is still not restocked on the Tahoe that is closest to the call, we'll go to that call, but then the next closest Tahoe will respond to us, either rendezvous, en route to the hospital, or actually come to the scene to make sure blood gets there as quickly as possible.
Well, I think one thing is how we can administer it to a large county with a large population. I think the Tahoe concept, squad concept, really allows us to do this. If we didn't have the squad concept where we could put it on 3 different Tahoes and really serve the entire county, if we had to put it on 13 or 15 trucks, it would probably be cost prohibitive, not only for us, but for anybody that would try to start this program. So I think this hopefully will promote squad concepts for other cities and other counties to use, but that has definitely made it possible for us to even start this project.
So one of the other unique things for the citizens of Park County is that we live in this huge metroplex called DFW, and within this metroplex, there's only 3 agencies that are currently carrying blood, Park County Hospital District being one of the first. And so we're really setting the standard and moving things forward in our hospital district with our EMS agency.
And we've really met people that probably a year or 2 ago wouldn't have made it to the hospital. And so that's really rewarding for us as a PCHD EMS entity. Hopefully for those citizens that live in Parker County, being reassured that they'll be taken good care of if they have a hemorrhagic emergency.